Hi, I'm Daz. What I have here is a Dynatron CP1 cassette deck. A friend of mine telephoned me and said he'd seen it on an auction site and said, I think that would be nice to go with your 8-track and reel-to-reel. So, as though I need more stuff, I decided to purchase it. It's from the early 70s from what I understand. It's got a lovely plastic lid here. And a very nice wooden case too. Very nice. Just looking at the controls, it's got a single VU meter, a nice big recording level slider. This has D&L, dynamic noise limiter, which works in playback only. There's a DIN for the microphone. I notice I've got a couple of pieces here which I believe have come unglued from, if I just get it in shot, have become unglued. I think this is also the tape counter shield. There we go. But they all need gluing back together. Just carefully looking around the back. There's a couple of DIN sockets, hinges. I think I'm going to want to take this out of its case, but Dynatron Radio Limited, Maidenhead, Berks. So I've got the service manual, so I'm going to look at how to disassemble it next, I think, and have a look what the situation is. But I might try powering it up first, but I'm definitely going to have to change this power lead to start with. Okay, so I have my light bulb in, got my variac, so what I'm going to do is just gradually ramp this cassette player up. With a bit of luck, if the power lamp is working, we'll see that illuminated. That's 20%, I'm not really seeing much activity yet. Nope, nothing much going on as yet. Certainly can't see the lamp on. Going to go up to 30. Nope, still not much activity. Ah, I hear a motor running. That's good. I suspect, let's have a look. Well, I've got a feeling the belt is broken. Ramp it up a little bit more. Oh, the lamp's beginning to glow now. I'm going to leave it on 50% for a while, I think. Just give the capacitors a chance to reform. I assume the reason the motor is stopping after a few seconds is I know this has an auto stop, electromechanical auto stop, so it's quite possible that that is actually functioning. But I think I'll leave it there at 50% for a little while and just see what happens. Okay, so I've brought it up to full voltage, 240 in this case. We're drawing just over 4 watts, that doesn't seem out the way. What I'm going to try is to test the auto stop mechanism, so I'm going to put it into fast forward and turn the front spool. That seems satisfactory because the motor is still going. If I stop turning the front spool, the motor stops. Well, that's good. Well, I think that's about as far as I can go. I haven't got an amplifier yet to hear if there's any noise from the audio side, but I think the next thing is to work out how to take it apart and store this nice case somewhere safe. So we can have a look at the deck. I suspect the belt has broken. I just hope it hasn't turned into a horrible black goo, because that will be a bit of a nuisance as it has. But there we go. Well, I've just discovered that if I put the lid in this position, hopefully it'll come off. Can I get it off? Yes, there we go. The lid has now come off, so I need to put that somewhere safe. According to the manual, I need to undo these 2 screws here. Yeah. That needs gluing down as well. Yeah, that's not a problem. It's these 2 screws here, so I need to pull them out, undo them, and then the deck is hooked at the front. So let's do that without slipping and scratching it. Well, I'm undoing the screws, but they don't seem to be coming out. So I need to turn it upside down. Oop, there fell out. No. Okay. The screws seem to be loose. Seem to be having a lot of luck with this, do I? I'm pretty certain the screws have I've got this one out, but I heard something falling, whoops, behind, so yeah. It makes me wonder if they're supposed to be captive nuts and bolts, and for whatever reason they are no longer captive. So I'm going to unscrew this one. Yeah, it's just moving about as though there's something that's supposed to be captive, and what I don't want to do is start damaging the surround. So I'm going to get a small screwdriver and put some pressure against the screw. So I think whatever's holding it the other side has come unstuck, assuming it was glue or glued or whatever. Decided to ignore what the instruction manual tells me to do and go in at it from the bottom, because after hearing screws falling out, I'm wondering if the instructions are a dual instruction for the yeah, that looks like that might do something. And for the radiogram that this deck is fitted into, so I'm beginning to wonder whether it would just be safer, because now I've got to retrieve whatever washers or nuts that fell off the screws at the top. Right, let's see what we've got. There we go. Just looking carefully for a little bit of plastic. There's a washer. Yeah. Where's the motor? I think it's under this motor control board. Oh no. Black goo. That's not fun. Yeah. Oh, that's going to keep me occupied for a little while, clearing that lot out. Okay, so the 2 bolts that are in the front, at the top of the tape recorder, they indeed go to a washer and a bolt just here and here. A bit fiddly to get at. I think I'm going to have to take this cable securing device out. I might actually be able to, yeah, just slip some cable through. So there we go. Right, now it says, I'll try and keep this in shot, so lift up the back and then withdraw the front. And there we go. We are free of the cabinet, and yeah, you can see the cabinet's made of proper wood. Cool. Oh, there's another one down the bottom now. I guess I'll have to undo that one. Here's a closer shot. Now I have the deck out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circuit boards here. This belt is still, let's get a better shot if I can. There we go. Yeah, this belt here looks still intact. I'm just trying to figure out how it quite works. I'll look at the service manual, but there's one belt there to the flywheel. I'm not sure at this moment what goes where. I'm sure it's in the service manual, hopefully. But yeah, I guess the belt goes around there as well. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. I suppose the next thing is to start clearing it up. That's gonna be nice. I've detached the DIN sockets from the back so I can get at the motor pulley. They've got two spaces and I managed to drop one, but I've retrieved it. More worrying is one of the cables has broken loose, but it seems obvious where that goes back. Yeah, I'm already covered in a lot of black goo. Ugh. I'm about to remove the deck, hopefully. There's a screw there, and there's another one. I'll get this right in a minute. I'll come back out a bit. Ah, there you are, you can see there's another screw there. So there's one either side of the piano keys, as it were. But the one I had a little difficulty finding is, if I can get the camera angle right, is down here. Yeah, we can just about see it. There it is. There's another screw down there. So there's one here, here, and get my finger in shot down here. So that's where the three screws are for the deck. It took me a little while to find that other one down here, but there we go. Okay, so the cassette mechanism is out. Let's have a quick look round. Interesting, see-through arrays head. The pinch wheel looks a little bit dirty. There's the two drive shafts, two spool drives, and they appear to engage with that metal plastic wheel. Back of the motor, a switch there. I must admit I'm struggling a little bit with servicing this. With all the cables joined, that's the pot, the cord level pot. There's a little bit more play on this one. There's to help me swing it out, but no connectors, nothing. It's a bit of a pain in the, well, I want to take the flywheel out, and the motor control board's attached to that as well, so I give them credit for making this small, but I'm not really enjoy working on it, actually, to be honest. As for these the belt that was already in here, that was obviously completely wrong. I've looked at the service sheet and they're not really aligning. Now I know there should be a belt from there round that idler and round the flywheel, but it looks like there should be a belt between the two black wheels you see in front of you. That would then make sense to get fast forward and rewind. So those appear to need to be there. I'm going to try taking the flywheel out now. I'll probably live to regret that. But let's see what happens. Okay, I've got the flywheel out. There's the motor control board and auto stop. Interesting, there's an inductor on there. I can't remember seeing that on the circuit diagram, but that's the flywheel, and I had to take the take-up idler off. There's a little nylon washer that holds it in place, so I'm fairly in pieces now. At least I can try and it's a bit easier to clean the flywheel now, because that's certainly it's still got a lot of black gunk on it. Just thought I'd take a shot on the tripod, a nice and stable shot. The mechanism, the grease has really dried out. I don't know if you can see the dark marks where the grease was, and I've noticed there's a little bit of anodization on some of the metal parts, so I reckon it's seen a little bit of damp. But one of those oopsie almost moments. I just took this plate out and then realised there's a tiny bearing here, a ball bearing here. Right, better not lose that, so I should be in trouble. So yeah, I thought I'd just take some of these plates off. That's focusing nicely, just so I can get some grease in or clean it up, because it feels very bindy, so I'm going to have to do something. Just starting on the other side of the machine now. You can see the grease is pretty dark. This is the plate off the piano keys, and hopefully I'll get it back together. I've just loosened the 2 screws either side. Just lifted the plate up. There's a spring on it, so I thought, well, I think that'll be enough. I'm having a little bit of caution with this one, but yeah, the grease is proving pretty hard to get off. It's well, some improvement. I'll just keep going at it.